The Neverending Story. I gotta say, I have some great memories about this. I've talked very often about shows that were in constant play on cable in the early days of cable
This
TV,
was one of
and
them. Yeah.
this was definitely one of them. It was a great one because my brother enjoyed it so much. My brother, I've talked about many times, severely mentally handicapped, never grew up, right? So he always was watching the kids shows, the Muppets, things like that. And this one was very much a favorite of his. He became fixated on the scene with the inventor chap, to the winch, wench. My brother used to repeat that over and over again. He used to laugh so hard about it, completely out of context. Didn't make a lot of sense. Didn't matter. He loved it.
The winch wench.
To the winch, wench. He's talking to presumably his wife, because they're going to. They use a winch in order to get to where his telescope is, or whatever. It's part of the story. But anyway,
I don't know if I have
fantasy, huh?
children. Yeah, I don't know if I have a picture of him in here though, but we'll see.
No, that's fine. Well, you're showing the poster right now. He's the white bearded dude, like closest to the right there.
Yes. And
That's
there we have Falcor, I believe is his name, right?
yes,
The
Falcor was the dragon.
the part dog, part Chinese dragon, right? That's what that reminded me of.
I suppose, yeah.
Yes. But what about Atreyu Do? Yes, we're gonna get to. Oh, look at this, Al singing the song. That song gets stuck in your head. Too.
So yeah, I'm glad he brought it up, because the Neverending Story's title song from the English version of the 1984 film The Neverending Story. It was produced and composed by Italian musician Giorgio Moroder, and performed by English pop singer Lamal. He released versions of the song, one in English and one in French. The English version features vocals by Beth Anderson, and the French version, titled, I'm going to give this a try here, La Histoire sans fin, something like that, featured vocals by Anne Calver. It was a success in many countries, reaching number 1 in Norway, Spain, and Sweden, number 4 in the United Kingdom, and number 6 on the U.S. Billboard Adult Contemporary charts.
Look at that.
In the first episode of the third seasons of Stranger Things, set in 1985, Neverending Story is sung by the character Dustin and his long-distance girlfriend Susie, as a way to reconnect after not seeing each other for some time. Following the season's release on July 4th, 2019, interest in the Neverending Story surged again. Viewership of the original music video had increased by 800%.
Wow.
Days, according to YouTube, while Spotify reported 825% increase in stream requests for the song. Lamal expressed gratitude towards Netflix for this. While he had not watched the series, he was told of the song's inclusion by his nephew, and watched clips of the duet. Lamal had previously found a similar increase in his past work when the network used his band Kajagoogoo's song Too Shy in Black Mirror Bandersnatch. In June of 2024, ITV used an arrangement of the song in their opening for coverage of UEFA European Football Championships. In 2022, the Spanish stage production La Historia Interminable, El Musical, welcomed Lamal to the stage to perform his song with the cast, including Teresa Ferrar as Zaid, and Teresa Abarca, and Alba Quartero, who alternated as the childlike empress. So there you go.
You can speak Klingon, no problem. With this, you stumble over.
Well, Good point. I mean, fair enough, right?
Look,
But what? Oh, yep.
I remember seeing this as a kid, though. I did want to say something, and I felt well, how old was I? 8 or 9 or something when I was catching this together. What feels off about this movie? I couldn't quite put my finger on it, and then of course I find out later on. I think because it's a very, even though American cast, I think very European movie.
Yes.
Yes, in
Yes.
its scope. I think it was made in Germany, actually, right? Yeah, it was a German production.
Yep. And real quick, I want to thank Ruby Who for the gifted membership over on Netter's channel. Let me see if I can see who that went to. Ruby, you are just absolutely wonderful. Super, super appreciate you. That went to Nicholas Woodall 3840. So welcome to Netter's network, Nicholas, and thank you again, Ruby Hoove. And the Tired Midnight Blogger also comes through for Netter, gifting a membership to Sporking News. Welcome, I think, back to membership, Sporking. So thank you for that, Tired Midnight Blogger, for helping the Netters Network grow. And Mr. House Party jumping in as well, dropping in a membership over on Netter's channel. That one goes to Mr. Scuba Pete 8044, who I know happens to right now be over in Analog Toys live stream right now, so he'll see that.
Goodness, thank you all so very much. I don't know what I did to be so popular tonight, but thank you.
And it's a little funny from my perspective, because literally the first one came in when she stood up from her computer to go take care of something, and she's just now getting back. She's like, holy cow, what the hell happened in just 3 minutes?
Very fun.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
But thank you all so very, very much. But going back to this, it really was, and you could do an interesting deep dive on the music from this, on the production behind this, various editions or edits of this movie.
Really?
We could actually spend a lot of time on this. Big Al and I talked about this a lot when Big Al, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had done a rewatch of it on your channel.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, he had done Neverending.
We talked about a lot of these things. He was so much a fan of Falcor that we made sure that last year when we were at MegaCon, there was a booth that had a mock-up of Falcor.
No, that's not where I got it. I got it someplace else. And I saw...
No, the pictures that we took at MegaCon.
That.
Okay, you're getting ahead of me. Where they had a mock-up of Falcor that the kids could have their picture taken on. And we weren't supposed to take pictures, but we took pictures, They also had some of the other scenes from the movie. Don't want to get too into that because we'll get into that as we talk a little bit more about the story and so forth. But very, very cool stuff. But then, yes, Netter found a Falcor style little like toy, 3D printed, right?
Yes, 3D printed.
That she sent to Big
And
Al.
it was one of those ones where you may have seen the dragons where the different body parts move, like each little section moves. The Falcor was like that.
What's really interesting about those is if you ever watch how 3D printing is done, or actually watch 3D printing, it literally prints all these different segments all at the same time, interconnected in 3 dimensions. It's really, really cool.
That does sound neat, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Neverending Story only touches about half of the book of the same name. I need to read the book one of these days. That should be on my bucket list.
And that's what's really cool about this story. It very much is a okay. Thanks, Netter. I just saw your private chat. There's a very meta element to the storytelling on this. So yes, it is an adaptation of a book, but at the same time, it's self-aware of itself as a movie. and there's a scene in which the boy is reading the book
Sebastian.
and having
Yeah.
Sebastian,
Yes.
who is having a conversation with the childlike empress character in the book
Right.
somehow. And she has this, you are, reading about me just as others are watching you. So she's acknowledging the audience of the movie.
Yes.
As the child is reading the book, talking to her. It is an incredible, mind-blowing kind of a thing if you're really paying attention in that regard.
So, like, he's the audience of the events happening in the Neverending Story, and then we're the audience watching him interact with the
exactly
book. Yes.
right.
It
Okay,
goes
yes.
beyond breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, it's like breaking the fourth wall of the fourth wall. It's like that. It's really kind of interesting.
So there we go. There's him.
I don't know if you call that a fifth wall break, and that's him exactly having that kind of a realization that there's more going on here than he even realizes. Yeah,
he was hiding out somewhere reading this book, as I recall. Was it a warehouse or something? Like he was mad at his dad or something?
In the attic of his school.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Because he just wanted to
was
finish
it his
reading
school?
the book.
No. It was. Oh yeah, I guess it was because he took the book from the bookseller.
Remember the bookseller was like, "Yeah, you don't look like we don't have any." Did he say something like, "We don't have any comic books here"? Or something? It was something like that.
Exactly.
And he's like, "I've read all the," and he starts listing off all the books he's read.
Right.
Well, you still don't want to read this book, so no, you can't read this book. So of course, what's going to happen when you?
And it's very, very clever because you can see, in a way, it's almost the same kind of a thought process as in The Princess Bride, where the older man's like, you're not interested in this. Oh, well, now I want to see it because you say I can't, because I won't, or I want to prove you wrong, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's the reverse psychology of, you don't want this broccoli. It tastes too good. No.
Yeah.
You're just not going to want it. It's green.
Yeah.
No, I want some.
Yeah, I want to try it. Okay, it's not so bad. That's how the reverse psychology. But yeah, he gets real into the story and then realizes that he is becoming an existential hero within the whole narrative of keeping alive imagination, basically. Which, let's face it, every person who reads a book, that reads fantasy, that imagines, right, is keeping alive our collective narratives. Another story that I could say really kind of gets into this a good deal. Mr. House Party, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Do your magic, for it is good. Go on. Yes, exactly right. See, people loving this story really has had a great cultural impact. I don't want to bury the lead. We'll get to this later in the stream. We are going to be talking about more than one reference to this in some articles today. Usually there's a connection to our good old days, to something that's in the news, but there's more than one today for this one.
Well, it's funny because I originally picked this because we talked about it on, was it Friday? We talked about this. Yeah. I don't remember. Yep. Yes, and I thought we should. We never done this for good old days. I think it's time. Geeky Geezers.
There's a thematic connection to a film that's got a trailer out this week. Okay. And welcome to me and my monkey, Mark Ruffalo. Thank you so much for being here, my friends. Yes, Geeky Geezers unite. And Maria with Tea and Telly. Thank you so much for stopping in and dropping the kisses and the hugs. You are so sweet.
So here's the rock biter. I remember it starts out with him, and he's always eating rocks, and he says he went by to some valley or something where there were a bunch of rocks, and it wasn't there anymore. And he says, "Oh, because you ate them all." No, that's not what happened. He's trying to explain to them that something is making everything disappear, right?
That is, talk about existential dread, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not that it was empty, that I'd eaten all the rocks. It was gone.
Yes.
Everything was
just wasn't there anymore. I remember that line. Yeah. And here are some other people he runs into. Like there's the dude with the snail. that could go. The snail could go really fast.
Deep Roy, who seems to be in everything. We talked about him. He was in an episode of Blake 7 that we watched. He, of course, was all the Oompa Loompas in the remake of Charlie and the
Thought
Chocolate
that was
Factory.
him. Yes, I
Yes,
thought
it
that
is.
was him.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Huspersick said the nothingness.
The nothingness.
I thought
Exactly.
that was the nothing, but I could be wrong. It's been a few years.
I could be. I
Big
suppose.
Al is the expert on this movie. Big Al, weigh in.
Not to mention, there is, of course, some translation going on here too. So let's be open to that as well. the dude using a bat as a hang glider. Yeah, I thought that was cool too.
You know what? It could work if they were large enough, right?
Or if you are tiny enough. I think it was implied he was some sort of a pixie or something like that.
Right.
Big Al shows is called The Nothing.
The Nothing. There you
See,
go. Okay.
he's the subject matter expert on this movie.
He really kind of is. That's right.
All right. So then we have, there are all these, and they have a conference where they're all talking about
and
this
this
nothing.
is, of course, the Khan Nooney and Singh prequel.
That's a Treyu. Yeah, he does look like a
Doesn't
child
he with
Ricardo
that yeah.
Montalban. Yes, it's
because it was, of course, a belt buckle from the Botany Bay, but still,
Well, that's funny. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. And he was Atreyu.
Yes.
And he goes to hunt the purple buffalo. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's his big thing. And I guess he's the protagonist.
You're supposed to believe he was some sort of fantasy barbarian / Native American kind of analog,
right? Yeah, like he
culture.
He rides a horse on the plains, and things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's going on a journey, I guess, to find out what's causing the thing that's destroying the world, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's
there's a way to reverse it.
And this is one of those things where, the hero is so brave, right? Well, actually, I mean, I don't know how brave it is. It's like, if someone doesn't do something, we're all going to die, got to save the world because it's where I keep all my stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, T and Telly says, love this movie, doesn't like the horse. Yeah, we'll get there.
We're going to get to that. Yeah. We talked about it a little bit on Friday. We'll talk more about it.
This freaked me out. This was some kind of wolf creature. What was it called again? I don't remember, but I remember it being very scary.
Yes.
Was it in league with the Nothing, or was it or was it not caring?
Kind of in the respect that all evil seems to be in league with chaos.
Yes.
And it's kind of again, you can't separate. Well, I mean, you can look at this whole movie from a very childish point of view, but you can also look at it at a very philosophical high level. And you almost have to look at it through an existential lens. Mm-hmm. And
it's existential dread is what this
exactly. And this creature is literally saying, everything in the universe tends towards disorder. Gamork. That's what it was called. Thank you.
Terrifying.
And he represents that aspect of fear. The fear of the unknown, the fear of chaos. Everything dies. Everything, how was it that the Sopranos said? Everything goes to
yes,
right?
Yes. Tony.
And there's nothing you can do. You might as well give up. That's the whole aspect that he brings to it. So it's not so much that he's in league, but he's kind of spiritually connected to it in a way,
Yeah. And I know they have a nasty fight, don't they? Because I still have to attack you because you're I guess because I'm evil and you're good or something. There was this.
It's my nature. It draws to mind that whole scorpion and the frog thing.
Because what's the point of him even attacking Atreyu at this point? Everything's going to get wiped out. What's the point? But no, I still.
But I have to because it's my nature. It's what I do. When I rewatched the movie, I skipped the horse scene. Again, give us a second on that one. We will talk about that.
I think I have a pic of that in here. Yeah, let's move on to. In fact, that's the next
scene.
There you go. There it is. There we go.
There you go. So one of the trials is the Swamp of Sadness, right? And it literally is a physical manifestation of depression, right? And how can I say this and still be YouTube friendly? Surviving depression, right?
Yes.
That's something that many people have to deal with. And how mired you can, and how you can slip into depression unto the point of death.
If you get too mired in it, yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's literally what they're going through. Well, he's trying to stave off and survive the depression, only to realize that his horse can't. His faithful horse that has seen him through everything is succumbing to depression and is sinking into the physical manifestation, which is the tar, the bog, whatever.
Yeah.
And this is incredibly sad. This is probably one of the most emotionally devastating elements. And I appreciate that, there have been people that have been, this is supposed to be a film for kids. Yeah, it is. Let the children be exposed to this. This is why fantasy and fairy tales exist, because it deals with things like death and depression and overcoming, and these are very important things. If you spare children these things, you're doing them a great disservice.
Yes.
But because there isn't a place we're talking about it tonight, but on Friday we did talk about the fact that now using AI, people have recreated this scene where Atreyu is able to talk his horse out of his depression, get it to survive, and in a very realistic way. And I said, you know what? I could totally see this AI generated scene being edited into somebody's fan edit of this movie. You totally could do that. And it would be absolutely believable,
All right. Oh, yikes. Apparently, Colonel Joshua 87 said that the horse actually speaks about what he is emotionally going through during this death scene. Yikes.
That's got to be even worse. But that probably doesn't work.
It wouldn't translate the film, I don't think. Yeah.
I think that a lot of people, especially filmmakers, I would say this filmmaker really did understand it, but most modern filmmakers who just want to do their own version of things, blah, 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 don't really understand that there are things you can convey in prose that you cannot convey in film. And let's be honest, there are things you can do in animation that you cannot do in film. And I think that is where the biggest disservice to these so-called live action remakes of animations go wrong. Someone pointed out that whole Snow White debacle, with its many, many problems, one of them was that whole scene, the reveal of the dwarves, the nose popping up over the foot of the bed. That's something you can only do in animation and have it be adorable and cute. If you tried to reproduce that with those CG nightmares that they made, it's just horrifying. Anyway, just some things work in live action and some things don't. So that's what I'm getting at.
So, anyways, and then I know there's this whole thing with then he runs in the Falcor,
right?
I guess that's to lighten the mood a little bit after such a horrible scene.
Well, and I again haven't read the book, so I don't know how it works narratively. But in the narrative of the film, he's lost his steed. He needs a new steed, and you need something that can fly, because he now needs to cover large distances very quickly. So from a narrative standpoint, it kind of fits.
Is he scratching behind his ear, as I recall?
Yeah.
Because dogs like that, yes.
Yes.
I guess it's because the spot they can't really reach, right? So they like when humans do that.
I suppose, but without getting too into the weeds on it, I think most animals Most, not all, but
Yes.
most animals do have an affinity for having their head scratch the sides, the back near the neck, and so
Not that
forth.
wolf thing we saw earlier. You don't want to do that. You'll get your hand bitten off. But yeah.
Well, that's true. But usually dogs and wolves, if you have, the connection to them that they would allow you to touch them, they would enjoy that too.
Yes. But,
I don't recommend doing that with wolves, though. You do not have that connection to them. The connection you have to them is you are food to them.
And then Atreyu has to go to the something path with the Griffin ladies or whatever that is, right?
Those are sphinxes, but yes,
Sphinx,
exactly.
the Sphinx, yes, okay.
And I think this is an oblique reference to certain Greek myths, the Odyssey and so forth. I want to say what was it? The Straits of, I don't remember what, in Greek mythology, but and yes, there are boobs. Thank you for pointing that out.
I debated showing this picture, but I said it's a statue. I'm not going to lose sleep over this. Okay.
Right.
And I think there's a thing where Atreyu has to give something a name, right? Isn't that the big crux of this whole thing?
He has to give a name to the childlike empress.
Empress, yes, because it's the only place left in the world is this fortress in the sky or something, right? And he can't think of a name, right?
Right. But at first he doubts himself. He can't come up with a name, so on and so forth. But then eventually he does, and
I thought Sebastian yells it out. Isn't it Sebastian?
Oh, Atreyu. It's not his place. It is Sebastian's job to do.
And whose name does he give? Do they say? Was it the name of his deceased mother?
He gives the name Moonchild. Now,
okay.
I never really understood where that came from or why he says that. I felt like you would think that a child struggling in the real world with the death of his mother would choose his mother's name or something connected to that.
See, now I always thought Moonchild, I figured his mother was a child of the 60s and Moonchild was her name in the 60s. That's where I thought he got it from.
That's perfectly plausible. I'll be honest, I thought pretty much the same thing. But I don't see anything that specifically references that in the film. So book readers, if you've read this story and please fill us in. But yeah, I don't really know.
But yeah, it's funny. I was watching the old Siskel and Ebert episode where they were talking about this movie.
Oh yeah.
Gene Siskel gave it thumbs down. Roger Ebert gave it thumbs up, and they had an argument about it. And I think what Gene Siskel said, well, it's like that other movie I didn't like, The Dark Crystal. This is better than that, but still, he hated The Dark Crystal, Gene Siskel. And then what's funny is they go to their next movie, which is The Last Starfighter. And Ebert gave that thumbs down, but Gene Siskel gave that one thumbs up. So I just don't get all these classics that they were split on.
I do feel like, and let's face it, those guys were local here. So Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert definitely followed those guys. Oh. And I really always felt that they had a very surface level understanding of films. They looked at them like A, adults, and B, journalists. And I think that what has always been missing, well, until very recently, is an understanding of film in terms of culture, who the audience is, and things like that. And I think more of the people that I follow that review films, and I'm thinking like Deleted Scenes, Big Al Presents, Sin's Corner, and many of them. Wilkie's Movies and Music even kind of do understand those factors and do consider those aspects as they do.
Well, it's interesting you say that because Roger Ebert has gone on record saying, if it's for kids, like he even if, like, I remember with the movie Good Burger, he didn't quite recommend it, but he said, well, for the audience, for the Nickelodeon audience, for the kids that like the show, you'll like this movie. So that's what he said in his review. And
I think that's fair.
And then Siskel started arguing with him about that. And says, what do you care what the audience wants? And so why don't you care what you like? And then it becomes this whole thing. And he said, but Roger, he said, Gene, it's for the kids. And he says, really? I thought it was for their college professor parents. Such an ass sometimes. It's like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. It's a funny. You want to hear them get into a nasty row? It's over Good Burger, the movie. But I think this was another one too, where I don't know if Ebert thought also for kids. Maybe I don't know if he mentioned that when he was talking about it. But yeah, but Neverending Story. Caught it a lot on cable. Found this movie frustrating because it's like what do you do with the nothing, right?
Yeah,
just it consumes. But then everything works out in the end because the childlike empress gets a name, and then I guess the world gets restored.
Well, if you think about it,
right? Yeah.
If you think about it, for crying out loud, this again, getting back to the whole fourth wall break of the fourth wall, this movie really does exactly what it lays out. It introduces a whole other generation to story, fantasy, dreams, shared collective storytelling zeitgeist, and all those things that I said about the cultural impact this movie ended up having. Yes, it was because of cable, and it became a little bit of a cult favorite, and that impact that it ended up having then on nostalgia pieces like Stranger Things and so forth. So amen to that,
And there's also taught me that adults will sometimes drink raw eggs, which I thought was disgusting as a child.
Yeah.
Doesn't he stick it in a blender or something? And I'm like, wait, what? And then I kept thinking, and I think at the time I thought, was that a European thing? And no, that's just a yuppie thing back in the 80s.
Well, no, it was. Well, look at Rocky eating the raw eggs too.
I hadn't seen Rocky at that point as a kid.
Fair enough, but yeah, it was. Well, even before Rocky, I knew it from my.
I was aware of Rocky, obviously, but
right. But yeah, and now since I've been getting more and more into making my own foods and so on and so forth, I've been looking at how eggs are used in different recipes, and I'm like, prepare eggs how you want them. They are a great source of protein, but different uses of eggs for different means. And there's. Let's face it, I've used frosted up egg whites, in many drinks and desserts and other recipes. So I'm not going to poo-poo that if you're doing that for breakfast. But
I had eggs at Bob Evans today.
Good.
I did not do the sausage, the biscuits and gravy. I did the blueberry pancakes with bananas on top instead.
I am not going to say I'm coming around to the sausage gravy yet. I have been eating more breakfast sausage. I've been taking those patties and flattening them, wide, to make these almost burger-like patties with them.
Yeah,
but much
they can
thinner.
work like that. Yeah.
And I've been doing them on bagels with a bit of cheese. Oh my! That is just like my favorite breakfast sandwich right now. I've done it with egg, but I'm like, I think the egg kind of gets in the way. There's plenty of protein in sausage. I don't need to double up on the protein with eggs. So sometimes I'll go with an egg sandwich. Sometimes I'll go with a sausage sandwich. They don't have to be in the same sandwich. Anyway, I think we got way off topic on this one.
Boyhood crush, don't judge me. It's fine. If you were the same age, it's normal.
There was something about that childlike empress as when you're a little boy, because she has that whoever the actress was did a great job of portraying this older spirit in a childlike body. So from a child's point of view, I could see that as being very, very attractive.